video. So, you decided to get organized. First, you run out to the container store, or you go to the Dollar Tree, or Target, or anywhere you could find a bunch of cute containers, maybe like those glass ones for the pantry and some like cute little storage baskets. You get home, you find your messy area and you start to put the stuff in the baskets. But pretty quickly, you've got so many decisions to make about what should go in which thing and where, and if stuff's gonna fit. But let's say you get past all of that, you get it all in your cute containers, it's on the shelves, then what? A week goes by, maybe a month, and before you know it, stuff is a mess again. You still can't find stuff. It's overflowing those storage bins and containers. It turns out that getting organized is the second most popular New Year's resolution. The first one is losing weight, and the second one is getting organized. So if it's so popular that most of us are choosing that as a goal every year, why hasn't it happened yet? So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the top 3 reasons that most of us won't get organized this year, and also how to fix it. Number 1, getting organized is the wrong goal. If you start to organize before you've decluttered, you're just wasting your time because you're spending all of your time and energy trying to fit things in different places and managing stuff that you don't even need to have. When we go out to the container store or Dollar Tree even and find cute organizing hacks, we're missing that really important first step, which is editing down how much we own, then choosing where those items should live. Adding more stuff to our stuff is only making our problem worse. And trust me, because I have bought a lot of cute baskets and bins over the years. Despite what all the marketing and advertising out there wants us to believe, the key to getting organized in the new year is not buying more stuff. Also, if getting organized was really the problem, don't you think you would have figured it out by now? Because we're smart and good at figuring out solutions to problems. But if year after year we're struggling to come up with a way to organize our stuff, then the problem is probably just that we have too much of it. Someone once said that clutter is just a postponed decision, and I think that is so accurate. Most of my clutter, the stuff that I end up leaving out, is a bill that needs to be paid. So it's a reminder of something I need to do, but I leave it out there instead of just deciding to take care of it right then. Or like all of the papers. Oh, there's so many papers. Edison's only 4, but he's still bringing home so many papers from school. Each one of those things is a decision that has to be made. What do I do with this? What action does this require of me? Even if you think about like your email inbox and the crazy mess that can be at times, or your camera roll, oh geez. All of that stuff that's cluttering that up is just a postponed decision. The problem comes in when we run into decision fatigue, which is a real thing where you're making so many decisions, it takes like a little bit of energy away from you every single time. So you end up too tired to keep going with making decisions, and then you start to make poorer and poorer decisions. It's easier just to keep stuff and stuff it in containers or hide it away or just let things be what they are than it is to actually make the decisions. But if you have a simple rubric for what to keep, a simple question that you can ask that has a yes or no answer, it gets a lot easier. And it gets a lot easier with practice. It's kind of like a muscle that you have to develop. Nobody is born really good at tidying and organizing. Even Marie Kondo has said in her book, it's a learned skill. It's something she's been passionate about since she was 5, and that's why she's the organizing queen today. It's something that you can learn to do, but you have to be able to break it down into small enough chunks to build up your muscle strength in that area of making decisions and decluttering so that you can stick with it for the long haul, which is number 2 reason that most people won't get organized, is that we're just overwhelmed. Sometimes we end up in a situation where there's just so much chaos around us because we've been sliding and not deciding in a lot of areas of our life, and it just gets to be overwhelming. So we'll tend to just jump in somewhere without a real plan for how we're going to tackle that space or any of the other spaces in our home. So we don't make any real progress, and then we get discouraged and throw up our hands and just say, I guess this is how it is. Without planning ahead for how we're gonna tackle a space and what rubric, like I just talked about, we're gonna use to decide what to keep and what to get rid of, we're just spinning our wheels and using up a ton of emotional energy. And without those quick wins of seeing real progress, it's really hard to stick with it because you're just slogging through without really seeing the benefits. Especially when the going gets tough, where you run into stuff that's sentimental or you just don't know what to do with it yet, and you haven't built up those muscles of how to determine what serves you and what sparks joy. We need a plan that works for our life, that's not too slow and not too fast. So I think it's easy to fall for the philosophy of like, oh, just throw away one thing a day. That doesn't really work for anyone. Like, who can possibly remember every single day to find a thing to get rid of? Or if we try to do it like too intensely, I think that can also drain us of all of our energy and just we're not ready for it. Either way, we have to find a system that's going to work for us, which leads me to the third reason that most of us who say we want to get organized this year actually won't do it, is because we don't have a system. James Clear is the author of a book called Atomic Habits, which I highly recommend. It is blowing my mind. He says we rise to the level of our goals, but we fall to the level of our systems. So the goal is the destination, it's what you want to achieve, but the system is how you actually get there. So he says we should focus less on setting goals and more about creating systems to get the outcomes that we want. Actually, let me just read for you a couple quotes from Atomic Habits because it's so good. Here's the problem with goals. Winners and losers have the same goals. Or you could also say people with clean homes and people with messy homes have the same goals. So what is the difference? It's who develops the system that they can stick to then achieve those goals. Achieving a goal is only a momentary change. So if you set a goal of running a half marathon, your system is how you're going to train for it and run it. So let's say you set that goal, you do your training plan, you run the half marathon. What happens then? Do you stop running? Most people do, myself included. And it took me a while to get back on track, and actually instead of setting the goal of doing a half marathon or a particular race, my goal now is being a runner, and so my system is running and going for a run 2 times a week. And by doing that, then I can actually achieve the goals of doing a half marathon again in the future. Imagine you have a messy room and you set a goal to clean it. If you summon the energy to tidy up, then you'll have a clean room. For now. But if you maintain the same sloppy pack rat habits that led to the messy room in the first place, soon you'll be looking at a new pile of clutter and hoping for another burst of motivation. You're left chasing the same outcome because you never changed the system behind it. You treated a symptom without addressing the cause. That's a big reason why a lot of us fail every year as we're trying to get organized, because we are trying to solve for a symptom without addressing the cause, which is the lack of systems that would enable us to keep our home picked up and organized and clutter-free. And those systems can be as simple as making sure we do a sweep of the house every night and pick up, or always go through the mail as soon as it comes in. All of those little tips and tricks that you've heard before, but actually developing a system to apply those so that they can become habits, and then you no longer have to think about it, you just do it. If I were to add a number 4 point to tack on, the bonus point I would make is because we lack support. We're doing it by ourselves, maybe we've tried it before, and we're afraid of failing again, so we just try to keep it quiet what we're doing and just do a little bit here and there without anybody noticing. But without that outside motivation, it can be kind of unmotivating, I guess, for lack of a better word. The benefit of doing it with other people and having support and having people know what your goals are, making sure like the right people know what your goals are, the ones who actually will support you in that instead of just trying to talk you down, is huge. I mean, the benefit of having that community support is when you run into those roadblocks where you don't want to keep going, they're there to remind you of how much progress you've made and remind you of your ultimate vision for the life you want to lead and the home you want to have. So in the course that I'm working on creating right now, we are going to work through all three of these, technically four of these issues. We're going to deal with decision fatigue by using a simple rubric to decide what to keep and what to get rid of. We're going to start with some small wins to build up our decision-making muscles and to see progress quickly and get that momentum built up. You'll get a step-by-step, day-by-day plan with simple things that you can do, simple homework or habits you can start that will take like 2 minutes at a time. Simple things you can do to change your mindset around decluttering and start rewriting those stories that you tell yourself in your head of, I'm just a messy person, this is just the way it is. All of that we're going to work through on a day-by-day basis. So you'll have a plan to be able to set out realistic goals for yourself and create the systems then that you need to be able to achieve those goals and to be able to continue making progress long after the course ends. Plus, you'll be doing it with a group of like-minded people who have the same vision of a streamlined, clutter-free life and creating more space in their home and schedule and their soul. This is designed by a mom for moms. So I'd say I'm just a regular mom, not even really a cool mom because I'm a little bit too nerdy even to fall into that category. I'm not perfect and I'm not going to pretend to be for the purposes of this class, but I am a little further ahead in my journey, if you will, and I have learned a lot about how to change my habits and build systems and be able to manage our home in a streamlined, simple way that allows us a lot of space for really the bigger questions of life and the things that matter, like building relationships and pursuing our God-given callings. I think this is the course for you. So I have a link that I'll put in the description down below. So if you're interested in this course, you can pop your email in there and then I will send you updates as I'm in the process of creating it. So you'll find out all the stuff about pricing and dates and what all's included, all that kind of stuff I can email to you. And I will for sure be talking about more here. I have a ton of stuff I want to share, but I don't want it to be too overwhelming. So I'm looking for 10 only beta group members who are willing to be my guinea pigs and help me create and shape this course. So this could be for you if you would like a little bit more hands-on personalized help with your space, because I will be able to interact with you more over email and or Instagram DMs and chat about problem areas you have and solutions, and I'll test out some of my homework tasks for the course on you and get your feedback about how it goes. So there'll be a lot of perks like that, so you almost get like some one-on-one organizer at a fraction of what that would cost. I can guarantee you that is the lowest this course is ever going to cost. You will get full access forever to the course. So even as I make updates to the course and changes and make stuff better in subsequent runs of the course, you will always have access to it and you won't have to pay any more for any of those extra features because you got in as a beta group member. And that's just my way of thanking you for all the feedback and help that you'll be giving me. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I would love to have you be in my little VIP group of guinea pigs, and you can buy that membership and get all the details on that at the link also that's down below for the interest page for this course. And finally, if you have somebody in your life that you would like to go through this with you so you can have like a real life partner, I would love it if you could share this with them and invite them to join you on this journey. And if the course isn't for you, I totally respect that. You'll still get all of the free videos that I'm creating here on YouTube every week as part of this minimalist series, and all of the tips and advice that I give out on Instagram and the free guides that I create, which you can download on my blog. you'll still have access to all of that. So be sure that you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you won't miss any of the next videos in this series. And with that, I think that is everything. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm excited to go on this journey with you.